if we don't get a point guard and Chris Finch continues to play Mike Conley, I think Chris Finch should get fired. Hey there, and welcome back to the Mini Weekend. I'm your host, Jack. Let's get into it, maybe. Cheers. Man. Wow. Excuse me. Drinking the podcast, what do we go with tonight? Strangely enough, go with Huckleberry from Huckleberry from Northern Soda Co. Weirdly enough, I'm getting ready for the podcast. Like most days, I check everything that we've done and everything in the past, and I swore we had done this. I went through my fridge, saw we had it, and was like, there's no way, I've done this one, let's see what else we got. And I went through the thing, and I swore we've done it, but we have not. So we're going to do Huckleberry tonight, and oh my gosh, very good, very refreshing. A flavor that kind of feels fitting for like spring heading into summertime, but something that you can definitely drink year round. So once again, Northern Soda Co. Yeah, for those of you that have been here watching since the beginning of the year, yes, we will be getting some other stuff soon. We obviously love our friends over at Northern Soda Co. in New Bright, Minnesota, but we love trying new things. I know you guys, we've done Holy Pops and a bunch of other Minnesota local craft breweries, mocktails and other things like that too. What sports with a little bit, something fun to drink, right? So, Huckleberry from Northern Soda Co. So for those that are new, Northern Soda Co. or company, like I mentioned, is located in New Bright, Minnesota. It's like right off of Highway 35W there, and off of Campus Drive. It's kind of tucked behind in like a little warehouse district, which is pretty sweet. Yes, backdrop. This is not the first time we've used it, and yes, we are finally under construction on the behind the bar. We're going to be painting it. I'm getting a banner, and it's going to look awesome, and we're going to look official, and like we're doing the damn thing, right? So, sorry, quick side note. But yeah, Northern Soda Co., top of the top as far as I'm concerned. If you're looking for a Minnesota company to support local, delicious sodas, really cool bar area. They actually have some bar stools you can sit belly up. They have sodas on tap on a weekly basis. Really cool environment, and they have a little bit of everything. They have events. They're only open Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And needless to say, with their limited hours, they always have things going on. Sometimes they're closed for private events, so you can reach out if you want something hosted. But they have TVs that you can watch sports on. They got board games. They have card games. They even have a couple arcade games, and they have a really cool spot where you can actually personally, in person, make your own 6-pack and make your own 24-pack of their sodas, which is awesome. And on top of that, they have a bunch of sweet merch. New Year, I'll be sure to wear my Northern Soda Co. shirt for you guys in the next coming weeks here. But honestly, all in all, cannot say enough great things about this company. They make top of the line sodas, specializing in these style sodas made with real cane sugar. You can go on their website and get a tour as well of their facilities, kind of see how everything is made and all that fun stuff. So I urge you guys, go check them out. NorthernSoda.com. They have an online, so you can do everything online as well. And so they have a couple, not every single one of them, but they have a couple of them on their website. And it says for the Huckleberry. Actually, maybe we did the blue raspberry, and I thought we did Huckleberry. Maybe that's what it was. But Huckleberry, it says natural blue purple Huckleberry extract is to highlight the berry sweetness. Very popular soda. It's sweet and tart, like a much more flavorful blueberry. Caffeine free as well. And I have to say, personally, somebody who doesn't particularly like tart sodas, this doesn't taste very tart to me, which is kind of a nice spit it out, Jack. A nice attribute to have. So I really enjoy it. I don't get too much blueberry. I get kind of like blue raspberry meets fruit punch. It's really dynamic. I have a lot of different flavors going in there, and I personally really like it. I'm gonna go ahead and give it an 8.6. It's one of my favorites that I've tried here before. I obviously love their root beer. I don't think it's really up there with their root beer. and their black cherry, but very good. And I would go out of my way to get this again. 160 calories in this one, and in most of them. But yeah, like I said, go check them out. You can find them on social media. They're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And then, yeah, like I said, so for those that are interested, they're open Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. Thursdays and Fridays, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then Sundays, noon to 6. So go check them out. Tell them the mini weekend sent you, and you won't be disappointed. Tommytown, not a lot of news, obviously, with the conclusion of the football season. We'll get to that in a second. Pretty much focusing on college basketball and college hockey here, which is always fun. Amazing to think we are only 53 days away from March Madness, which was, I couldn't get a concrete date for the Frozen Four final tournament, which if the March Madness is 53 days away, that means we're, I think, less than that for the tournament. And I don't want to jinx anything, knock on wood, but I think both the men's basketball and hockey teams have a legitimate chance to be playing in that right now. I believe last I checked earlier today, the men's hockey team is ranked 15th or 16th in the nation, with Augustana right above us, I think, at 15 or 14, which is just unbelievable. It's amazing. Meaning, like, at this point, even if we weren't to win the CCHA, as long as we, like, maybe went to the championship game and lost the championship game to Augustana or whoever, we might get an at-large bid at this point with how high we are up in there. And it's worth noting the Golden Gopher hockey team isn't even ranked right now. Now, again, a lot of people might say, well, they're a young team, and that's just it. They're a young team. They haven't really gotten their identity going. They're very talented, but they're a bunch of young guys playing with each other. So both the men's basketball and hockey teams are currently rolling. The men's team is currently riding an 8-game winning streak heading into Sault Ste. Marie in Ontario for a series against the Lake Superior State Lakers tomorrow, Friday the 23rd at 6:07, and then on the 24th at 5:07. And really take an opportunity with 10 games left on the schedule to kind of push this winning streak to 10 games and really kind of pull away with the CCHA first place. They're currently in first place, have 1 point on, I believe it's Augustana. So really awesome to see them playing really good hockey. Hopefully they can continue playing that, as like I said, they're coming up on their last 5 series. So hopefully they can start things in the right direction heading into the end of the season. So yeah, that's what we have for the men's hockey team. The women's hockey team, they came off of a tough weekend at the hands of the number 1 team in the nation, the Wisconsin Badgers. Both games they lost 1-5. Friday night, the Tommies cut into the Badgers' lead, making it a 2-1 game early in the second period. Unfortunately, the Badgers would score 3 unanswered goals in the third period to take the win. But then Saturday night would see the Tommies cut into it in the second period again, making it a 1-3 game. And then this one was actually a little bit closer. There was a controversial goal in the third period to make it 4-1, and then their fifth goal was actually an empty netter. So this one, it was 5-1, but played a lot closer than the night before. So, at least they can hang their hat on to that, because they got a tough the rest of the way. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 series left in a row, and as of right now, their upcoming one is against Ohio State, who's number 2 in the nation. After that, they got the Huskies, who are number 12th in the nation, and then they have the Gophers, who are number 4th in the nation. So they definitely have their work cut out for them. They're coming into their final 10 games with a 10-14 record, 5-13-4 in the WCHA, and really hope to kind of get some things together so that they can at least be competitive come the end of the season and in the WCHA tournament. And for them this upcoming week, they will be playing Friday, tomorrow the 23rd, and then Saturday on the 25 p.m. tomorrow night on Friday, and noon on Saturday. So good luck to the girls, and hopefully they can steal a game in Columbus. And then for the men's basketball team, are continuing the longest the longest active home winning streak in the nation to 29 games. They're currently only on a 1-game winning streak, as they actually dropped their last game to North Dakota State just a couple days ago, a close one, 65-68. But they've won 10 of their last 11 games, so they're rolling themselves. And coming up here have 2 games until the next podcast. They'll be in Vermillion, South Dakota to take on South Dakota Coyotes on the 24th at 1 p.m. And then the night of the next podcast, the 29th, 7 p.m., they will be taking on the Fighting Hawks of North Dakota in the Lee and Penny Anderson Arena. So once again, really, hope that they can continue continue their hot streak going deep into the Summit League tournament. They currently sit at 5-1 in the conference, only behind North Dakota State, who is perfect 7-0. And it's worth noting their overall records. North Dakota State is 17-5, and we're only 16-5. So 2 very close teams. After that, you got North Dakota 11-12, South Dakota 11-10, and then South Dakota State at 10-11, and then. So it kind of seems like it's North Dakota State and St. Thomas are kind of pulling away, which is odd because last year Omaha was unbelievable, but they're currently sitting at 9-12. So hopefully the men's basketball team can keep things going in the right direction for them. As for the women's basketball team, they lost a tough one at home to North Dakota State, who was receiving votes just yesterday in the Lee and Penny Anderson Arena. Lost 66-75, dropping 2 in a row. That puts them at an overall record of 9-11 and 2-4, which for the women is kind of right in the middle. They're currently sitting at 6. But it's funny because they're only 2 games behind Oral Roberts, who sits in 4th. North Dakota State 6-0, South Dakota 5-1, South Dakota State 5-1 as well. But they got a couple games coming up this upcoming week to hopefully kickstart themselves, kind of getting into the groove of things. They have North Dakota, the Fighting Hawks, tomorrow afternoon, or Saturday afternoon, the 24th at 2 p.m. in the Penny Anderson Arena, and then they will be in South Dakota to take on the Coyotes Wednesday the 28th at 7 p.m. So good luck to them. And that's what we essentially have for Tommytown and Tommy Sports. And last but not least, college football is officially over for the season. A huge congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers representing the Big Ten, winning the national championship. And even Fernando Mendoza, who went ahead and won the Heisman Trophy. All jokes aside, you have to give credit where credit's due. And Indiana was just an incredible team through and through. Had an unbelievable year. Fernando Mendoza was near perfect. And yeah, I did bring up, hey, it's kind of shitty to see a team, like Indiana be bottom of the pack and now all of a sudden they're winning national championships. And all things considered, it actually makes the Big Ten look good. You obviously want them, you obviously want to look like you're coming from a big powerhouse, which again, the Gophers really are. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We finished 8th in there, and only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams technically had better records than us, as we were tied with a couple teams at 5-4 within the conference. But more than anything, it was a fun game to watch. It was close. It was back and forth. It was a 21-27 game. So you never felt like you were watching, oh man, Indiana's going to blow it away, or oh man, Miami just looks awful. Back and forth. I feel for Carson Beck, last eligible college game he's able to play, and he wasn't able to come away with the win. But he played an incredible game. And other than that last game-sealing interception, he really put his team in a position to win that game. So hats off to him. Hats off to them. Yeah. Now we look forward to the 2026 college football season. But before we continue on with that, we have more things to chat about with you guys. Unreal. UNRL, top of the line in athleisure. They are currently down in Florida right now. They stand at the 2026 PGA show in Orlando, Florida. So if you're a Minnesota sports fan listening to this and you're in Orlando, go check them out. They showed a picture of their booth, and they have obviously a bunch of their golf stuff, but they have a little bit of everything. They have some of their hoodies for the NFL stuff. Tonight we're rocking the High Street Vikings Volume 5 drop. I believe this was drop number 4. I thought it was 5, but 5 was the tie-dye Special Olympics collab. So this one, I think I remember getting around the same time as the Black Friday full zip one. But I'll be really cool, really nice and snug. This one is more like of a relaxed fit. I got this in a medium, and still the sleeves are a little bit big and long, but it's a good relaxed fit. I like it. It's comfy. It's, again, you can wear it, slumming around the house. You can wear it out. I've worn it to my son's mini rebel hockey and all that fun stuff. So, and then tonight we just have our simple UNRL khaki hat with the band on the bottom. Love that. And lastly, before we wrap up, for them, they have their emblem, or their NHL, what are they calling it? Their NHL emblem capsule. It's an in-arena exclusive, so you unfortunately do have to be there. Apparently there's some copyright issues. The NFL is one of the few American professional leagues that will allow other brands to sell their things online. The NHL, so far, you can't do it online. You have to do it in person. So if you go on their website, they have the schedule for you. So Boston and Nashville will actually have their first ones. They will be on the games tomorrow on the 24th, or Saturday the 24th. Columbus will be on the 26th, Monday. Minnesota and Detroit will be on their Tuesday night games on the 27th. And then Pittsburgh and Las Vegas will be the final 2 teams that have their drops on their Thursday games. So go check them out, unrl.com. They truly are unreal. Make sure you go onto their website, like I said, unrl.com. Check them out all over social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, all that good stuff. And last but not least, don't forget to check out the link in the description if you want $15 off your first order from UNRL. And from that first order, you will also get points that you can use on future orders for up to $25 to $50 off future orders. Go check that out, click the link, and tell the mini we can send you. You won't be disappointed. So yeah, and then another thing I wanted to bring up, so within this last week, I posted a clip, like I do every single week. I post clips from the episode created, and I posted a clip about the LA Dodgers essentially not really ruining baseball, but ruining, the how payroll works, and essentially said there needs to be a salary cap. And part of the reason I like saying kind of controversial things like that and opening up a dialogue with you guys as fans is to get your input, because so many of you guys, like, one great thing about me doing this podcast and putting myself out there on social media, I don't give a rat's ass what you think about me. Like, you could call me the most creative, most effed up names out there, and I'm not going to give a shit. I'm more than likely going to probably laugh at it, and some of you did. But a lot of you were like, well, if you're going to make a salary cap, why not make a salary floor? Because a lot of people were alluding to, all of these guys are billionaires. Like, they're able to put the money into their teams. No, they may not have these luxury TV deals, but all these guys are billionaires and still have money to put into it. So why not put a salary floor into it so that it incentivizes these cheapskate owners that just want to pocket the money to put the money in the team? And I didn't even think about that, and thank you guys for bringing that up. It's like, yeah, that would be a great idea. And looking into it, the salary cap and salary floor first got introduced in their CBA proposal during the 21-22 negotiations that led to a 99-day lockout by the MLB. But the league offered apparently a $100 million floor with a $180 million soft cap, $30 million less than the previous first threshold of the competitive balance tax. And I think something like that is perfect. I don't know that you maybe go that low, but maybe the floor you go is $125 million. the soft cap is 180 mil, and then you do maybe like the top, and then maybe you do the hard, you can't pass cap at like 225 million or something like that. Like, I just think it would make for more competitive. One of the things I remember bringing up to a couple people in the comments of the video I posted is putting this into play would just stop these teams from essentially, like the Dodgers, making an all-star team. Like, no, that doesn't assure them that they're going to make the playoffs and the championship, because there's injuries and things happen. But at the same time, talent, having the best talent on your team definitely helps. And, I think you look at the NHL and the NBA, and there's salary caps in place so that these teams can't create super teams, and both of them are thriving, So I really think, with the assistance of you guys, I really think a salary floor and a salary cap would be just astronomical and would just be awesome to see in the MLB. So hopefully this upcoming season, this upcoming season, this 2027 season could be possible, because I think the current CBA expires after this season. So we'll just have to wait and see. Made it a little bit longer-winded than it needed to be, but I just want to kind of touch on that and thank you guys for bringing that to my attention, because I think now that we've had that conversation, I really do think that the salary floor is just as important as having that salary cap, so that everybody's at least trying to win and nobody's able to just make this, dream team at the same time too. And I think last thing I'll say too, 2026, there will be payrolls. Because I think even if you make it like everybody's got to be between 150 and 225, I think that would be a good balance. That'd be a difference of what? $100 million, which is, nice, because then, the Dodgers, the Mets, the Phillies, the Yankees, the bigger markets, they can spend the 225 closer to that. But then some of these other teams, because right now the Dodgers are, for the 2026 season, their tax payroll is $411 million, and you have the Miami Marlins, who are just barely over $100 million. So there's literally more than a $300 million difference between the bottom teams and the upper teams. And now, after my conversation with you guys too, I do really think, like, hey, the Miamis, the Tampa Bays, the Chicago White Sox, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Washingtons, Minnesota even, Colorado, St. Louis Athletics, Milwaukee, like, there's no reason those teams can't be spending at least $150. Like, there's, at the very minimum, guys already on your team that probably maybe deserve that money. Or if nothing else, more money to go get other guys to beefing up your rotation or whatever the heck you need. So, yeah, really fun stuff. Thank you guys for the awesome conversation on that. So with that, still don't have a ton of news for you guys on the Wild. They lost a tough one to the Canadians a couple nights ago, 4-3, and the final seconds. They're currently playing the Red Wings right now, tied 2-2. But they're starting to kind of get healthy and get guys back. I see Johansson's playing in this game. I see Eriksson X playing in this game. And it sounds like Boldy's not far from playing. It sounds like at the very least he'll be playing for Team USA at the Olympics in just 15 days. We have that to look forward to. But yeah, Wild are playing pretty good right now. They're not, stringing together any more than, 2-3 losses in a row, which is big. In half their losses, they're at least picking up a point from losing in overtime, which is not great, but at least you're staying competitive in the competitive Central Division. They're currently sitting at 65 points, 2 points ahead of Dallas, and 12 behind Colorado. They have some making up to do if they want to try to get to that top spot. But at the very least, they would be hosting Dallas in a series if the season were postseason will start right now. That's what we got for the Wild. They'll be in action a couple times this upcoming week. We got Florida Saturday at 8 to cap off Hockey Day Minnesota. They got Chicago on the 27th at 7. And then the night of the next podcast, Calgary will be in town to wrap up their 4-game homestand at 7 p.m. And then for the Timberwolves, not a ton of news here. It obviously lost another heartbreaker since we've been on last. They went on to lose 4 straight games, all of them by 5 points or less, and I really think, I don't know why Tim Connolly's waiting so long, but my brother asked me a question. He texted me, I'll put it up here for you guys to see, but he asked me earlier tonight, he said, are the Wolves actually getting Ja Morant? And my exact answer was, if we're smart, we would not. And I think I pretty much stand by that. I think this team definitely needs to add another playmaker at the guard position. Julius Randle is fine and he can get you buckets from here and there, but he's not a ball handler and he takes a lot of questionable shots in the crunch time. So if nothing else, you need another option that's going to be able to help Anthony Edwards out and take some of this pressure off him to be scoring 40, 50 points a night and still losing, which is just ridiculous if you ask me. But to get back to the question, I really don't. I think, we've talked about it before, but, we are coming up in crunch time, 2 weeks, 14 days until when the trade deadline is inevitably going to be here. And I don't know why Tim Connolly's waiting so long. He's probably trying to get the guy he wants at the price he wants. But at the same time, you gotta make something happen where you're currently, like I said, you've lost 5 games in a row. You're sitting 10 games back of Oklahoma City now. And then on top of that, you're sitting in the 7th spot. Now again, the silver lining from that is even though you're in the 7th spot, you're only 3 games behind Denver for the 3 spot right now. So, you string 3, 4, 5 games in a row and all of a sudden you're 3, 4, or 5 in the Western Conference. But guys, this year is going to be stacked. The Oklahoma City, barring any major injuries, are going to be a threat to be reckoned with. Spurs are good. Denver seems to be still pretty good. The Rockets are not looking like everybody thought they were, but they're good. Lo and behold, the Phoenix Suns have been playing well. But the Golden State Warriors are cooked. Jimmy Butler's out, and could not be more happy about not the injury. Don't get me fucked up, but because of just their state of where they are. But yeah. Anyway, so getting back to Dan's answer, I don't think we should. I think a couple things for me that I look at is he's a very high risk, high reward player. Yes, I do understand if he's 100% healthy, he's all-star level capability, and him and Anthony Edwards would do amazing things. My only issue is if you go back including this year, the last 3.5 years. So from the start of the 2022 2023 season to right now, there were a total of 288 regular season games he could have played. In that span, he's played 140 games. That means he's missed, in 3.5 years, 144 games due to suspensions or injuries. Now, one of the questions I posed to my brother, too, was if you were a team that has salary space, which we don't, because Morant kind of wants out and because Memphis is kind of tired of his shit, you'd be able to maybe get him at a discount. But even getting him at a discount, the guy's owed like $87 million the next 2 years. And if you get a guy like that, you kind of have to reevaluate your team. You got to offload some of the guys, your depth, and you have to get other depth players at a lot lower cost. And in my opinion, it's just not worth it. I know Colby White is somebody I really like. After these last couple of games, I wouldn't hate packaging like Julius Randle, Mike Conley, Rudy Gobert, Rob Dillingham, a second round pick, like a combination of that for like Donovan Mitchell and like Ty Jerome or something like that with the Cavaliers. But we're probably going to end up with, a Trey Jones or Chris Dunn or Kobe White, something like that, which are fine options. We're going to have to wait and see. They need a point guard, and if we don't get a point guard and Chris Finch continues to play Mike Conley, I think, Chris Finch should get fired. But I think if we keep rolling with the current roster that we have, I think not only are we going to struggle to play for an NBA championship, I think we're going to struggle just to get back to the Western Conference Finals, which, if that happens, I think Chris Finch is definitely gone. Something needs to happen. Something will happen. I guarantee it. Within the next 2 weeks, we're just going to have to be patient and wait and see. So, yeah, that's what we have for the Wolves. They will be in action a couple times just like everybody else this upcoming week. They have 2 games. They got 2 games against the Golden State Warriors, the 24th at 4:30, Monday the 26th at 8:30, and then they will be in Dallas to take on the Dallas Mavericks before coming home the night of the next podcast, the 29th, to host the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I believe that is a game, that Oklahoma City Thunder game, that we should watch when we do the podcast. So, yeah, that's what we got for the Wolves. And then just a couple last things before we wrap up for the night. So, quick recap of last weekend. I mean, all of these games didn't hit every single bet I did. It kind of went the way I thought they would. I feel so bad for Sean McDermott, Josh Allen, and that whole Bills organization. I truly do believe that game just got taken from them. That was not a late game interception by Denver. They should have had an opportunity to. They should have had an opportunity to win the game there. Then in overtime, not the one, but the 2 DPIs they called against the Buffalo Bills. Before that, there was just as much contact, if not more, on DPI for the Denver Broncos. On the possession before that wasn't called. So my heart breaks for them. You have to give credit when credit's due. And, Denver did win the game. Even though I don't think it was completely, fair and won the right way, but they won it. But now Bo Nix is out. So if I'm being honest with you guys, the Broncos have no chance to win this game. So, let's get right into the games for this divisional round this weekend. So we are down to our final 3 games, which seems insane. And conference championship weekend, both games will be on Sunday. The first game will be the AFC Championship game at 2 p.m. The New England Patriots will be in Denver. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys. This is New England's game to lose. Denver has a very good they have a very good defense, but Stidham is getting the start in this game, and he hasn't played in God knows how long, an actual game, not just a couple snaps at the end of a game. It's been a while. Denver's defense, I think, is good enough that they can make it a game. They'll make it so that it's not a blowout. It'll be somewhere between my opinion, it'll be somewhere between a 7 and 12 point game. So I got New England winning this game, and New England, I'm just going to take, I kind of want to play with the spread for my bet, but I'm just going to play it safe in this one and say New England is going to cover the spread minus 4.5. And then the NFC Championship will be after that game on Fox at 5:30. Los Angeles Rams going to the Seattle Seahawks. The rubber match, each team winning 1 game against each other in the regular season. And I'm just going to keep it 100 with you guys. I like the Los Angeles Rams in this game for mainly 2 reasons. One, I believe they're better battle tested. They are coming off of a hard-fought game against the Bears, and I think they know what they have in them and what they need to do to win close games and win big games like this coming down the stretch, especially with their onslaught of weapons. They got Kyron Williams, they have Jared Verse, they have guys all over that defense. They got Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. The list goes on. And I think, now so does Seattle. Seattle did lose Zach Charbonnet, which I think is going to hurt their running game just a little bit, because I believe the running game has been so successful because they've been able to run by committee. Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet. Now you're going to be asking Kenneth Walker to be taking more of a workload, which he's totally capable of doing. I just think with having just him and not having Charbonnet, it's going to be a little bit more predictable. And I like the Seattle. Again, I like this Seattle defense. I think it's going to be a close game. But I think the Los Angeles Rams are just a better team. I think Sam Darnold, we've seen what he can do in big games in the regular season, and we've also seen what he can do in big games in the postseason last year. And I think he's going to be kind of seeing ghosts. But the bet I actually like for this one is the over 46.5 points. There was an abundance of points in their last game, and I think both of these teams can move the ball at will. I just think the Rams are going to be able to do it more and better. In conclusion, I have the New England Patriots representing the AFC in the Super Bowl, beating the Denver Broncos and covering their 4.5 points. And then the Los Angeles Rams going into Seattle, advancing to the Super Bowl with the Patriots, and the over-under hitting over 46.5 points. Excuse me. And then lastly for you guys, so I know we didn't do any college bets. Like I said, college football just wrapped up, so we're kind of gearing up, and I haven't really done all my homework on, all that kind of stuff. But I do have one parlay on Underdog that I did this week that I thought I'd let you guys in on. I have it pulled up here. It's a 6-man anytime touchdown parlay. Remember, I am not a financial advisor, so I am not liable for any losses, just like I will not come after you for any wins. Please bet responsibly, and if you do have a problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, and they will get you the help and the resources you need to beat your addiction. With that, now we're going to put it up here. Boom. Like I said, 6-player anytime touchdown, $5 to win $312.60. I got 4 of them from the AFC Championship game and 2 from the NFC. Excuse me. For the AFC, the first game, Ramondre, I always butcher his name, Ramondre Stevenson. And I like him for a couple of reasons. One, he scored 4 touchdowns over the final 3 games of the regular season. He's out-touched Henderson 33-23 in postseason while running more than twice as many pass routes. And Denver has allowed the 3rd most receiving touchdowns to running backs this entire season. So he will get one. Courtland Sutton, I like him to get one. He will be Stidham's number 1 option to look at. And he just has the ability to get open almost at will. So he's the number 2. Hunter Henry's the 3rd one. He's scored the 5th most touchdowns at his position this season. And he owns 33.8% of his team's red zone targets, which is the highest share among tight ends. So Hunter Henry for me is number 3. My 4th is Kayshon Boutte. And I like him here because, like I said, I think at some point in the game, the Denver defense is going to be tired because I think that offense is not going to be on the team on the on the field for very long, and I think they're going to be giving up a couple of touchdowns. So I like Booty to get one. Then the last 2, I got Kenneth Walker III. Like I said, Zach Charbonnet is out with the torn ACL, positioning him as a clear workhorse. And on top of that, he scored a touchdown in both games against the Rams this season. And then lastly, JSN, Jackson Smith-Njigba. He finished with 10 receiving touchdowns, the 5th most amongst wide receivers this year. And Los Angeles has allowed the 5th highest yards per target to outside wide receivers. So expect him to get in on this. And this is a flex play. I believe the power out, or the one that you need all 6 to hit to get it, I think it's $5 to win $340 or $345. So yeah, Ramondre Stevenson, Courtland Sutton, Hunter Henry, Kayshon Boutte, Kenneth Walker III, and Jackson Smith-Njigba to all score anytime touchdowns. And I'll leave you guys with this. Remember, this podcast is about you guys, the listeners. If you have a question you want me to answer or a topic you want me to address, please reach out. Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I've been getting a lot more engagement on TikTok and Instagram. I thank you guys for that. And I will be using some of your questions and some of your comments and stuff as we keep going. I've noticed a lot more just these last couple of days. I just haven't had the time to go in and look at all of them and post them. So I do thank you for all of them. So yeah, thank you guys for everything. Thank you for the continued support. And as always, until next time, Minnie.